And not sure. Is it going to say who's?
I don't know.
Okay. We don't know. This is new. We're trying something new. So thanks for coming. This is our first ever Chalk Talk, for me anyway. And I'm really excited to kind of share a little bit about what Macalester Volleyball is all about, and hopefully some of your, they told you a little bit about what we're all about and some of the things that we do, but I think it'll be nice to get a little side background. Anybody played volleyball before? Or good, so you can chime in a little. Anybody else? No? How much do you think you know? Do you think some of the things that we do out there, do you feel like you understand really what's happening? Okay, great. So
my husband sits next to me who's played for years, so he's
giving you some talk.
Yeah,
good.
He's
excellent.
Yeah, we play together.
Well, let's just go around and introduce ourselds, because we have a lot of family here, so it'll be really great as you guys can get to know each other a little bit. I think pretty much people on the team are here right now, so it'd be great to introduce ourselves. Go ahead.
Hi, Jason Frew, my wife Pam, we're from Helena, Montana. Reagan is our daughter, first year student and player at Mac.
Great.
Scott Wiggins, and the rest of the gang, I'll let them introduce themselves. We're from Denver. Our daughter Elizabeth is a senior, but they call her Wiggy, so I think that always throws
She's
out.
one of the nicknames that is really stuck, and that's what we go by.
I'm Andrew.
I'm Rachel.
Yeah.
Those are Elizabeth's siblings. I'm Suzanne.
Taryn, Elizabeth, and
I'm John, so we're in from Dallas to see our niece.
Excellent. Okay.
I'm Mary Bush. My daughter's Claire Baum. She's a freshman on the team. Probably one of the second shortest.
My daughter is Brooke Hunter, and she's a sophomore.
Viet Bui, Huan Bui is my daughter, and she's a sophomore.
And Anne.
my husband Ben. We're Samantha's parents, Sutter. I'm Patty. And Lucy will be here.
John Hare, my daughter Catherine is a senior, and my wife Mary would be here, but she's a teacher and doesn't get out of school till late. So.
I'm Jean Zemaitis. My daughter's Lynn. She's a sophomore.
Great. We have somebody that popped in the back. You want to
Everyone's doing introductions.
We're doing intros, right?
Can I pop into a parents and alumni?
There's a lot of parents here,
I
yeah.
have nothing to do with that. I live
That's
across the
great.
street and I like volleyball.
Are you Tom?
What's
Are you
that?
Tom?
I am.
Awesome. We had a question from you. So we'll be answering that. Okay, great. Well, just to tell you a little bit, I think it's important to tell all of you a little bit about my philosophy and what we tell our recruits and our team. But most importantly, I think it's important that we're here because we're having fun. We enjoy what we're doing. We are out on the court playing because we love it. Even though there's times where it's really tough and they have to work really hard and there's a lot of commitment to it, you know, at the end of the day, we're here because we really love it and we enjoy the relationships that we have with everyone. The other part is that academics always comes first. So obviously being at Macalester, a really strong academic institution, it's really important that we make sure they're doing everything for academics. So if there's a class conflict, they're always going to choose the class versus volleyball. However, we always ask for them to be very open and communicate early so that we can really help with any conflicts that there are. And they really are very good at that. And that comes along with family too. Family's in that top notch of coming first. If there's a wedding or anything important with family, that absolutely comes first. But then volleyball is that next huge piece in their lives that we really expect them to be. And let's see, what's the other part that I want to talk about? So then we really get into the volleyball piece, and our big focus is skill development. So we really want to teach the skill. Times where we're playing really well, times where we need to play better or we're struggling, it really comes down to that basic skill. So we really focus our preseason on passing, setting, serving, hitting, blocking. And then once we know they feel very comfortable with that, and we feel comfortable with the skill that they're producing, then we really can get into the strategy piece of it. So being organized, I think that's very important. So every day we come to practice, we have a whiteboard out there and we write on the whiteboard a lot. What the practice plan is, where people are going for certain drills, what we really expect out of them for that practice time. So far the feedback's been great, they seem to love it. So we just started that 2 years ago, and it seems really well. It helps us run a very efficient practice so that there's no question about what they're doing, and there's a really good understanding. They're prepared, they're ready to just go and jump right into all of the things that we're doing. So it works really well. And then the last two pieces, one is that we always talk about always doing your best. So one player's best versus another player's best, they can be very different. And we don't, although we have overall expectations, we really want to make sure that they're doing the best that they possibly can. And so we talk a lot about their individual goals, and then we kind of talk about our team goals. The last one is really being winners for life. So that's kind of my favorite part is, yes, is the main piece of the bulk of what we're doing, but ultimately it's a lifelong kind of learning that we enjoy. I enjoy talking to them about their resumes, where they're going after they graduate, talking about kind of the stuff that's happening outside of volleyball and really getting to know them a lot. So that's kind of my philosophy. Now we'll talk, oh, what's my password? I have a lot of passwords. Okay, good. So now we'll talk a little bit about what we talk about early on, and then we always come back to whether it's in practice and matches throughout the entire season. We came up with this about 2 years ago, MACVB, what does it stand for? And the first one's mastery of skill. So we really want to master our skill. We're obviously we're not going to master it, but we can get pretty darn close if we can. And the closer we can get to mastering the skill, the better we're going to be. So we talk a lot about what we're going to do when we break down passing, setting, serving, blocking, hitting, all of those things. Attitude, commitment, those are all really big things. The way that we, the effort that we have, the attitude that we have is going to be the way that we act when we're playing. So if we have poor attitude and poor effort, then it's going to result probably in poor play. If we have great attitude, great effort, as you all probably witnessed, we're a team that if we're playing well, if we have a great attitude, we're usually winning. If we don't, we're usually not. It's kind of that simple for us sometimes. The V is vision. So we talk about our vision down to our goals. So what's the vision of the program? What's the vision for us this year? What's the vision for us in practice and matches? And then the B is believe. So it's great to have a vision, but you have to be able to believe in it, and you have to believe in everything that we're doing so that we can then, really get to the vision piece. So scroll down here. These are our team goals, our self-checklist, overall, and team expectations. So team goals, and they've come up with a lot of these. And it's important because we need their buy-in, we need them to believe it. If we tell them, here's your team goals, here's your expectations, then they may somewhat believe it, but I just don't think we'll get total buy-in unless they come up with them on their own. So we do have times where we throw in some of our thoughts and kind of modify some of their goals or expectations or the culture, but ultimately most of these they've come up with on their own. So the biggest goal is obviously we want to make the MAC playoffs. That's always been a really big goal of ours. We've gotten to a point where we think we can do that, and we absolutely can. And to be able to do it, these are some of the steps that we have to take. So it's kind of broken down to some of the skills out on the court, and then some things also, the calm, positive, intentional, and energetic team. That's something that, it's not an actual skill for volleyball per se, but it's something that's really important to be successful and win out on the court. Can you guys read them, or do you want me to read them? Do you? You read them? Great. Okay. So the self-checklist, this is one they come up with. We have a piece of paper. We give them a daily self-checklist. I'm sure they all do not check it every day, but it's just kind of a good reminder of some of the things that they decided as a team we really want each individual person to focus on, and so they change each year what the checklist is. The overall culture, I think this is a really important one for us, is just really talking about what do we want our culture of back, what do we want to be? When we have recruits coming in, when we graduate and we go on, what are we remembering about Macalester volleyball? So those have been some of our the culture that they've come up with. And lastly, they came up with these on their own too, the team expectations. So what they expect of each other.
Out of those ones there, which couple do you really think the team has great, demonstrated or?
Yeah, I think the control the controllables is the biggest one in the team goals that we've done well this year, and that's been a really big change. A lot of times we make a lot of errors that are, not necessary, right, unforced errors. And that's been one this year that we've really done well at. The be in position every play is one that I really wanted. It's one that we will need to change. Sometimes we get in halfway through the season, end of the season, we're like, okay, this goal is either not realistic or we've met our goal and we need to create a new one. And this one's not realistic. It really should say what we've kind of talked about and what we talk about every day is staying low and moving quickly to your position. So that's more realistic than, being in position every play. And so a lot of these goals, we're asking them to say, how are you going to measure them? Because we want to be able to look back and say, we did it. We met this goal. And so a lot of it's through film, stats, daily checklist, some of those things.
Question, under the team expectations, the last one, pyramid and the 24-hour?
Yeah, yes. We have a 24-hour rule. So if it's something volleyball related, we ask that they take 24 hours to think about it. And then they can email or call and come into our office. What we don't want to do is have any types of issues on the court. So it's really nice because then it gives you time to think, takes out some of the coaches have the emotion, players have the emotion, and we really want to be thoughtful about having a really good conversation about whatever it is. And so that's for us as coaches, players, player to player. They take 24 hours, and then part of the conflict resolution pyramid is talking to that person first. So if you have an issue with a person, instead of running to a coach, you go and you talk to that person. And then after you talk to that person, you decide if you need to go down the pyramid of talking to your leadership group, talking to your trainer or whoever it is in the pyramid scheme. So, yeah. Great question. Anything else on there? Okay. So the next thing I was going to do is just introduce the players. Okay. So most of you know them because you're all have a player on the roster. But this is our team. You saw the picture. And just to give you a quick glimpse, I think you'll be able to see them all on here. But I just wanted to give you a quick glimpse of the number of our players. We have 4 first years. We have a lot on our team. So 8 sophomores, 4 juniors, and 1 Casey who isn't currently playing this year because of an injury, and then 3 seniors. I'll give you an idea of positions, where they're from. Scroll down so you can see the rest. There you go. That's our team. All right. So, how are we doing on time? Oh, it's already 6:20. Shoot. Okay, we'll go real fast. Okay, so I just wanted to show you our set terminology. This is what we call our sets. So an outside set, like our outside hitters, Brooke and Clara, that are currently in our starting lineup, they hit a 1. That's what usually our outside hitter will hit. 1, a 2 is just an inside set. So these are all high into the 10 height sets. And then as you get into more into the middle of the court is what a lot of our middles run. But some of our outsides and right sides will still run like a 3, which is a high ball towards the middle of the court. And then 4, 5 is right by the setter, 6 is the setter, and then 7 is behind. So like a back set right behind, in the middle, to the antenna, 9. So that's what we call our sets. So we call them, it's really a 12, 22, 32, 42, because it's a 2-tempo height. And then as we get into what we call our quick sets, we don't call it a flip anymore, actually, it's wrong. It's a shoot. So we quick set out to the antenna, an A where that 3 zone is, that's a 31. So it's our middle running a quick ball away from the setter. A plus is a ball just 1 tempo away from being right on the setter. And then the B is when the middle comes right to the setter and quick. The C is a quick right behind, and the A is a slide approach, so it goes out to the antenna fast at one tempo. So all of those are one tempo. And then these are our back row attacks. So blue is where our left back would be, white is for our middle back, red is for our right back. And on the other side, this is like an old one, but pink is actually right here in between red and white. We used to use pink a lot last year because we had a lefty back there, and so we would like to set it inside, so that's why we kind of designed pink. I think that's all. Yeah, questions about that? No? Okay.
Yeah,
So when we're out,
What kind of defense do you run?
that's next. Great. So the max defense, this is our base. So a lot of times when the ball's on the other side of the court, our team is in base. It's a pretty basic base. Our left front is pinched in to help block the middle. So help block with the middle on the other side. And then we have our middle and our right side. And then our wings are pinched in for the setter dump. And then middle back is just up a little bit, just in case there is a dump that happens. And then this is our free ball to transition. So if we're in free ball, they pass the ball over the net. Our middle stays short. Our setter transitions to the net. Our wings should be like on just behind the front 10-foot line. And then our two other back row players split the court. Okay, and then as we go into a back row attack, we are 3, just all the way across. So our wings, again, front row, they just are taking a tip, decides if she chooses to block or not. If she's gonna block it. If she's not, she doesn't block. If she thinks she's gonna block it, then she can do it. Otherwise, she can't. And then our back row are 3 across. And then I'll show you. I'm gonna get to defense in a second. Sarah, just.
Question
Yes.
about offense.
Yeah.
So do you call plays or do you let the setter decide?
We typically let the setter decide. There's times where we want them to run a specific play and we'll tell them. So usually they're running their own offense.
Okay. So they decide where the blocks is and the set.
Right, and then we give them sometimes some, if I see something, I'm like, run this play, or, and a lot of times in timeout, I'll be like, let's do this. So, but usually they're running their own. These are our free ball plays. These are the main ones that we run. So orange is one where our middle goes slide, our right side comes around, and our outside just hits a normal 1 ball. In Royal, we have our outside come in for, it used to be a quick, but it's more of a high ball now. And our middle runs an A, so a fast ball. And then the right side runs a 9. And then on the white, which we don't run a lot because our setters are back row, they run a shoot, a J, and then a back row attack. And then the last free ball that we just implemented recently has been MAC, and that's where our outsides will come and run right next to the middle. And it's a little bit higher ball for them, and then our right side runs 9. So hopefully you'll see that one tonight. Hopefully they'll run that one. But what we give them is the opportunity to audible. So if they decide that they want to run something else, it's like Lynn, right side, a lot of times we'll run a J. So she'll run a fastball at a time where, it's really a 9 set. But we give them the opportunity to audible if they want to. Questions about the free ball play?
Looks good.
Great. All right, and lastly, so we're gonna watch a little film if we have time. Okay, so this is the opponent snapshot. So what we talk about in here is what offense they're running, so they know if the setter is running a 6-2 or a 5-1. And then all of these are their serve receive rotations. So when where the outsides are going, where the middles are going, where to expect them in serve receive. And then on the right is the lineup and who the best passers are and who the serving targets are. This form, Stephanie Schluter was the former coach here, and she wrote a book and has a lot of great forms in there. So I did get this form from her. I'm very grateful for it. Defense. So this is Gustavus' defense on an outside set, a middle set, and a right side set. So our defense is similar to what the right side, we call a perimeter defense. I know, we're gonna be done very soon. And I guess we won't watch film, I don't think we have time. But we run a perimeter defense, so we want our wings wherever the ball is set to. So if it's a right side set, then that left back person will be on the line. So this person comes and plays defense on the line, and then the other person is outside of the block if it's closed. And this person peels off to the line, and then this person has tip. So, and that's the same for an outside right side set, how we do our defense. Okay, so that's the opponent snapshot. We have time for film or no?
Yeah, just go.
Okay. This is the one that I showed them today because, okay, so Gustavus is on the other side, or is on our side here that you're looking at. And we watch a little bit of film. We don't watch a ton just because we want them to really not focus too much on it because then they think too much about what's happening on the other side, where we really want them to focus on what they're doing. But we do show some things that some tendencies that they should be looking for. So the first one here is the middle. So we show how this middle is really good. She runs a lot of fakes where she looks like she's gonna come A, and instead she's coming in to go B. Quick. Okay, so we show them like, find your hitters. This hitter's going this middle. This person should be with this hitter. And our right side should be with, our left front should be with our right side here. And then I like to pause a lot and show, so we stop it a lot and talk about what they're doing. It's not like, where are they going now? So then we make sure they know where to line up. So we have the outside, we have the middle going A, and then we have a back. And then we pause it again. Where are we going? So that they can line up. We talk a lot about eye sequencing and finding your hitters and not just looking at the ball, because you really got to know what's happening on the other side of the court to be able to line up correctly with your hitters and put up a really good block. And also play defense in the back row.
Annie, last night I was with some of the players, and maybe this is something that you told them, but there was a discussion about what skill is needed in each sport, like in baseball, vision is really the number one sport. And in volleyball, I was surprised, but it was pattern recognition.
You're right.
Makes sense when you think about it, but.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's so much pattern recognition. And we talk about how if we cannot be just playing the ball as it's coming over, but if we can really be a step ahead and not be waiting, reacting, we want to be really proactive and understand what's happening before it comes over, then we're going to be so much better at passing the ball or putting up a really good block. So yeah, this has been a huge focus of ours, is really the pattern recognition and really looking at what's happening on the other side of the court that we're doing. So it has a huge change for us. And then the other thing we look at for them is their defense. So we want to just show them. So as I showed you the opponent snapshot, but I think it's important too to just look at what they're doing defensively so they can see what are their options to hit. Our setters like watching what's happening with the block so that they understand what they can do to create a single block for our hitters. We can get a defensive side. And then we'll answer questions. See if they get one here. Okay, so outside set, then I pause it and I show them. So we talk a lot about we want to hit this, our setter. We want to hit at the center. We have lots of line here. We have sharp cross court, open, and if needed, we can tip in the middle. So we talk a lot about what they're doing defensively so we know what our offensive strategies can be. All right. Okay, and so lastly, we have some questions. I think Sarah asked what was my position and what did I play in high school, college. In high school, I've been a setter my whole life. In high school, my sister was a senior and I was a sophomore, and so I got to play DS before libero ever existed, and that was fun. I played middle back, which is so much fun for me. But setter has always been my position, so I've run a 5-1 pretty much most of my life. And but I've always wanted to be a hitter, setter. But anytime I got the chance, I was like, man, I'll hit. You know, or I pass the ball and I'm like, yeah. Sam does that a lot too. She likes to hit. Okay, and what criteria do you use to determine if a player is ready to use their jump serving competition? We serve a lot. Serving is a huge focus of ours. It's the one skill that you really have control over in volleyball. And we always say we want to be aggressive, but in, which is really hard for them to understand. It's like, you want to be aggressive, but then you want me to get it in. So being aggressive, but getting it in. So we serve every day. We try to mix up different drills so that they understand the importance of serving. And that would be a time where we would look and see, are they ready for a jump serve? Are they ready for a short serve? Is even probably a lot of times more the question, can they serve short? But we'll see like what's their consistency in practice. And if they feel confident with it, that to me is more of anything. So if they're like, I want to jump serve, I'm like, go do it, right? Like Reagan one time, she wanted to jump serve in the game. She's like, can I do it in the middle of like going back to serve? We're like, sure, go ahead. If you have confidence that you're gonna do it, we have confidence in you. And then if they don't, then we have, well, maybe we should have done that, right? But ultimately, I want to give them that support, and we want them to know that we believe in them. I think that's a huge part of it. And then the other question, at what age do you think players should begin seriously working on their jump serve? We have 14-year-olds working on jump serve. We have 12-year-olds that work on jump serves. It's really at where you're at in that part of your development to be able to do it. But we would like to start early. We have lots of people that start jump serving early because they have the skill, and it's great. I'd say the sooner the better. We always try to teach overhand serving. Whether they're too little, we want to teach overhand serving because that's what they're ultimately going to do. So even if they have to move up to the 10-foot line and serve overhand, that's fine. You know, and then as they can get consistently serves over, then they should start working on jump serving, and they can do an approach. Those two things I would say. So, any other questions? That's it? Okay. Well, I'm gonna head rush to the game over there, and then thank you all for coming. Enjoy and have fun. So eat some pizza. Okay.